We earlier spoke to Mr. Joachim Bitterlich, who is the former German ambassador to NATO and former European diplomatic and security advisor to German Chancellor Helmut Kohl, and this is what he told us.
The Russians have to underline now that they are in force to react to any threat from the West. The Russians are under pressure, really under pressure in Ukraine. Putin is not able to reach his war goals in Ukraine. It's clear up to now. He is sticking, let's say, to parts of Ukraine, but not to take it over as a whole, as intended. And at the same time, it's interesting to see this comparison of the last days. The Russians have launched Khabarovsk plus Burevestnik, this long-range cruise missile. And at the same time, the Ukrainians have launched the pure production of their cruise missile, of Flamingo.
Shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash, for giving me the spirit and power to make this lesson. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that teach this truth and rule well. Wabarakatham unto the elect. This is the brother Gabar, and this is going to be over Russia and its Poseidon torpedo and how it can trigger radioactive tsunamis. And this is not out of a fairy tale book. This isn't fiction. This is real. So you can clearly see how angry Yahweh Bashim Shai is with the heathen nations. Okay? Why would the Lord give them the intellect, give them the knowledge to create something like this? It's going to be used. These are the weapons of his indignation, his wrath. He's upset. He's angry for the controversy of Zion. Okay? Now we can, because I had the video, we got the introductory video, okay, on that. Now I want to jump into some precepts, all right? Joel chapter 3 and verse 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, right? The heathen nations, everybody that's not an Israelite, all right? It says, prepare war, and that's what they're doing, because what are they saying? They got this for, to be able to retaliate against the West. And they always say the West. They never say the North, the South, something in the East, all right? It's always Russia in the West, because they know what's going to go on, and that's where the fire is between. Of course, you're going to have the small hats, the 1948ers, the least of the flock. All right, you're going to have them, the JE, right, W's, ishes. They're going to be used to draw out America to this war, okay? But it's always Russia in the West. Russia's going to be Russia is a huge piece on the chessboard to take down America, okay? Pursuing the prophecy, okay? Now it says prepare war, right? So they're preparing for war and against the West. It says, wake up the mighty men. This is speaking to all of them, all right? It says, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up, right? And ultimately, they're going to go into that valley of Yahweh Shaphat, or Yahweh judgment making place. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I am strong, right? Everybody has their hands on weapons of mass destruction. And as we see time going, however much longer the Lord has time playing out before the actual destruction does happen fully, all right, which is going to be the day of Yahweh Shah when he actually does come back, they're just popping up with more and more different weapons that cause horrible, destruction, right? So don't be surprised if they pop out with some other stuff that sound like it's out of a fiction book, a fairy tale or something, right? Because this is beyond radioactive tsunamis. Radioactive tsunamis. To take out what? Coastline cities. Not, oh, it's gonna get, this little this area, whatever, and then we're gonna have the troops come out. And no, it's gonna take out cities, metroplexes. All right, these missiles and these different things, and it's gonna be a full destruction. This is the anger of Yahweh Bashir Shai, that he's giving them, he's allowing them to make these things. And then he's going to use them on Babylon the Great and various other parts as well of the earth. Okay? But specifically Babylon the Great. That's why they keep mentioning the West. Yeah, we got this because, in case the West. So the West going to get all the smoke, which is America. Okay? That's who they're speaking about. America, Babylon the Great. As the scripture is written that they're going to turn on the whore. Even the allies. Okay, so it says in verse 10, Joel 3:10, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So they doing everything they can, coming up with new weapons. They're not worried about agriculture, because that's what a plowshare, pruning hooks, all that. They're not worried about that and peace and stuff and trying to solve world hunger and get rid of homelessness and this and that, whatever. They're not worried about those things. They're worried about war. We're in wartime. As it says in Ecclesiastes, there's a time for peace, there's a time for war. There's a time to love, there's a time to hate. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 goes into that. Okay, it tells you that. Okay, so that's what they getting ready for, war. They're preparing war. And these weapons that they popping up with, we got this now, we got this, we working on this, and it's all for the West. It's all going to be used on the West too. So imagine the destruction. These people, all right, they over here dwelling at ease, okay? And then all of this happens. Bro, that's going to be beyond destruction. Then you got 200 million nuclear missiles, ICBMs. Do you see how angry the Lord is? Seeing that, one of my first thoughts was, one, like, damn, all right, and we want these things to happen. We need these things to happen, all right? But it's going to be like, damn, but also, it's like, damn, look how upset the Lord is. For the Lord to really just, he preparing them with that radio. Who knows what it's even going to look like? A big wall of radioactive tsunami sweeping through, taking out cities. Man. Okay. I want to jump to Habakkuk chapter 3 and verse 8. It says, was the Lord Yahweh displeased against the rivers? Speaking about the coming of the day of the Lord. It says, was the Lord Yahweh displeased against the rivers? Was thine anger against the rivers? Was thy wrath against the sea? That thou didst ride upon thine horses and thy chariots of salvation? Right, because so much destruction is going to be happening. And the earth reeling to and fro, as the scriptures say, which I grab right quick. It's going to be like, damn, you upset with the world? Right? Isaiah 24:10, the earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. It's like, damn, what'd the earth do? Well, that's how pissed off the Lord is with everything down here, man. Okay, with the rulership of Esau, Edom, with everything, of how they doing the Israelites and everything. It says the earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. All right. So the earth itself is gonna shake, and you see why. Look at what the Lord has given them. That's going to shake the earth. All of that going up and then dropping back down on cities. And then so much on one specific focused part of the earth too. It's going to be beyond terrible. That's why the day of the Lord is darkness and not light, man. People think the day of the Lord is just happy-go-lucky, come back, kumbaya, passing out Kit Kats, you know, pork chops and shit. That's not what it's going to be. It's going to be beyond. It's going to be beyond destruction. Okay? Why do you think the Lord literally has to take the elect off of earth? In the time of Noah, the Lord just had them build an ark, and he saved them that way. As he obeyed and moved with fear and faith, obeying the Lord. And the Lord saved him, had him build that ark, saved him and his family. And his, you know, and then the specific animals 2 by 2, you know, that he saved as well in that ark. More animals than people. That's something to think about. But this time, the Lord, the second death, the Lord just got to, y'all got to come up here, come up hither and hide yourself. Because what the Lord is about to do, man, right? All right, let's go back to Habakkuk chapter 3 and verse 9. It says, thy bow was made quite naked, according to the oaths of the tribes, even thy words a lie. Thou didst cleave the earth with rivers. The mountains saw thee, and they trembled. The overflowing of the water passed by. The deep uttered his voice and lifted up his hands on high. The sun and moon stood still in their habitation. In the light of thine arrows they went, and at the shining of thy glittering spear. Speaking about the missiles, verse 12, thou didst march through the land in indignation, which is righteous anger. So the Lord is upset, and the Lord giving them the ideas and the knowledge to make, let's make this so it can make it, you know, man, you only can imagine how pissed off the Lord is, and still he's more mad beyond that. It says, thou didst march through the land in indignation. Thou didst stretch the heathen in anger. The Lord is about to get down with these heathens, man. Okay. It says, verse 13, thou wentest forth for the salvation of thy people. So this is, the Lord is coming to deliver us. And a part of that is the destruction of the ones that are here that's not getting delivered. Okay. The heathen. Okay. It says, thou wentest forth for the salvation of thy people, even for salvation with thine anointed. All right. And who is the anointed? You got the Israelites of the elect, and you got the head. All right. Yahushai. All right. Yahushai Hamashiach. Okay. He is the anointed one. It says, thou woundest the head out of the house of the wicked by discovering the foundation unto the neck. Salah. Man. Okay. Verse 14, thou didst strike through with his staves the head of his villages. They came out as a whirlwind to scatter me. Their rejoicing was as to devour the poor secretly. Right? That's what they want. But the Lord is going to do something. The Lord is going to do something, man. And we're looking at it. That, yeah, we got this for the West. You know what I'm saying? If they try something, we immediately retaliating, and you know, and hey, you go look into it. The West, hey, you can't stop that. Ain't no satellite, ain't no other submarine, ain't no missile, ain't no interference system that's gonna stop this. Okay? The Iron Dome, it ain't gonna stop it, bro. Ain't none of that gonna stop it. This gonna be a clean destruction. As the scriptures say, matter of fact, let me grab that right quick. The scriptures say that they all gonna hit their target. Joel 2:7. Speaking about the missiles, okay? It says they shall run like mighty men, because this is a part of the Lord's army, these missiles. This is his weapon. It says they shall run like mighty men, they shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march everyone on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Right, they ain't gonna be in the sky just exploding, messing up and everything, and hitting on the wrong spot, and most of America still good because the Iron Dome took them out. No, they're all gonna hit their intended target. And you got one missile warhead is carrying like 6 to 8 warheads and stuff. Okay, it's gonna be bad, man. They not gonna mess up. Okay, they not gonna be deterred. All right. Let's get the next verse. Joel 2:8. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk everyone in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. Right, nothing is gonna stop them. Ain't nothing going. We gonna shoot them down. This and that. Okay. No, it's gonna be a clean destruction, man. Verse 9. They shall run to and fro in the city. Oh man. It's going to be missiles falling everywhere. It says they shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run up the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in the windows like a thief. Man. So people going to be just like the movie Don't Look Up, when they was having that at the end, that dinner, and then that fire came through. It came through the windows and all that. Hey, man, it's going to be spiritual. And not even to mention the fire from the chariots. In the presence of Yahweh Shah himself, the only begotten, and the angels, all the angels, the pure power coming from that, and them causing destruction, plus the missiles, and then plus you got the Poseidon and all. Man, it's gonna be the earth is gonna move, and it says it right here, verse 10. The earth shall quake before them, the heavens shall tremble, the sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Right, it's gonna be a dark day. All them mushroom clouds and all of that, and the earth moving. It is gonna be terrible. Okay, it's gonna be terrible. Joel 2:11. And the Lord Yahweh shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great, for he is strong that executeth his word. So he gonna bring this to pass. For the day of the Lord Yahweh is great and very terrible, and who can abide it? Right, man. Who can abide? Who gonna be able to withstand that? Nobody, man. Nobody. Even the elect are gonna have to go somewhere else. Oh, I'm gonna be in a bunker. I got my Glock. Oh my man. Okay, man. Okay. Revelation 11:13. All right. It says, and in the same hour, speaking about the hour of when the destruction happens, it says in the same hour there was a great earthquake. Right? Remember, it said it quaked before them. So when the missiles fall, okay, it says in the same hour there was a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. Speaking about Babylon, all right, and they got a section with the FE to the MA, they got the 10 sections, and they got it sectioned off and stuff. Okay. It says, and the 10th part of the city fell, and in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000. 7 is a completion, because the day of the Lord, it says many are going to be slain in that day, as the scriptures say. All right. It's going to be innumerable. It says in the remnant, the elect, it says in the remnant were frightened and gave glory to the God of heaven, to Yahweh Bashim Al Shah. They're going to be in the chariot. The deliverance going to happen. They're going to be in the chariot looking, as the prophecy says, through that on that glass, all right, like glass floor, all right, the firmament, okay, being delivered, being behind those doors in that chamber. safe and changing those new bodies and still gonna be afraid. Oh my God, it's gonna be like, whoa, call Allah Yahweh Shema Shai. And thanking the Lord that we not in that because we deserve it too. It's just Yahweh Shai laid down his life. He gave his blood for the elect to be saved, man. The ultimate love was shown, okay, through Yahweh Shai, through Yahweh Bashim al Shai, laying down his life for his friends. Call Allah Yahweh Bashim al Shai, man, okay? Because you're really not doing anything to really be out of this destruction. But you got to be handpicked from the foundation of the earth, which we don't know if we are. But hey, if you go up, you damn sure is one of them. All right. That's why we just continuing to push. You know, make your call in an election sure. All right. That don't mean, well, I don't know, so I ain't going to do it. That's stupid. All right. You got to try. All right. Okay. But the point is that the elect are even going to be afraid, man. The elect are even going to be afraid because look at what we seeing. They got this. They got that. They might drop some more shit. Yeah, it's going to be bad, man. It's going to be pretty bad. 2 Ezra 13:1. I'm going to get a couple verses off this and I'll end it off. It says, and it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night. This is Ezra, right? It says, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea that it moved all the waves thereof. Right? And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. Right, man. At the presence of Yahweh Shai. Matter of fact, we got to grab that. At the presence of Yahweh Shai, it's going to be destruction. And all the waves moving. Bruh, the ocean's going to move out their place, bruh. This is going to be beyond destruction. Okay? Revelation 14:10. The same shall drink of the wine. All right? The ones that take that sea hip, they're going to have to taste this judgment. It says, Revelation 14:10 again, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb, which is Yahweh Shai. Right? So that same destruction is going to happen simultaneously as Yahweh Shai, all right, visits this place when he arrives. I get verse 11. It says, and the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever. Now, it's not literally going to be the whole eternity because Babylon is going to be a desert after some time. All right, but this place is going to be on fire for a long time. It says, and the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. So don't take the MOTB. It is the CHIP. It is that Neuro Inc. Okay, we know. All right. You're going to take that thing, something inside of you, right? The C-hip, right? To buy and sell, then you're going to have to do what? You got to take this judgment. It's hand in hand. Not even speaking about the gruesome sword that's going to fall upon you before that. That cancer. Okay. Going back. Oh, was that it? Okay, yeah, that was it. You know, Lord's will, this was edifying. The Lord is beyond pissed. Beyond angry. Giving them weapons like this, right? Who knows what else the Lord got in store. But hey, what we seeing, it ain't looking good. This destruction is not going to be pretty. It already wasn't, but you know, as we get in more details, as the Lord reveal these things, and you hear what they saying. Oh, for the West. If the West do this, we hitting them with this. Imagine we do something. All right. Not saying we a part of this thing, but imagine America does something. All right. And they say, fuck it. Take out Florida. Get Florida, get Cali, and hit New York too. All in the same night. Bruh, it would be, bruh. Right? And the Lord is of course going to be with whatever men is there. All right. In those places, he's going to take care of them. However that happens, he's going to deliver them. But imagine, okay, that's the times we in, man. It's no coincidence the Lord got it in their mind saying, oh, if the West do this, then boom, we got this. You think that's just them saying it and nothing? No. That's all for reason. It's going to be used on the West. Okay? So with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bashim Al Shah for giving me the spirit power to make this lesson. Until next time, Kam Yasharallah, Shalom.